Hello, Big Brother fans. This is a review of episode 6, and let's get with it. We open with the ending of the nominations, and so we have Helen that was fairly, kind of irritated in the diary room, and she said next week we're coming after her, meaning Aaron. So I guess they're going to be fired up enough that they're going to want to try to get through this week and try to get the votes necessary to keep them in the game and kick some butt in the HOH. We'll see. Because, there's a long time between the date of the nominations, plus them being have-nots. Yeah. We have Candace, who has the theory that there is a boy alliance. Now, that girl, I've said it before in another review, is the first one that's really picked up on this. No one's really listening to her. She continues to spout her theories, and no one is really saying anything like, I've really noticed this. So I wish they would. I wish they'd pick up on it, and I wish they'd do something about it. This is a recurring theme throughout this entire episode where Candace continues to want the, quote, boys out of the house. Helen goes into the HOH room and goes to talk to Erin and tell her, once again, that they can be an alliance and they can, be each other's bad guy, and says that it would be an alliance that no one would really expect or suspect even, and it was something that she would possibly consider, possibly being said by Erin. She hasn't really confirmed that this is something that she's willing to jump into at this point in time. Alyssa once again wins the MVP, and after immediately going in and jumping around and being happy with Helen, they decide that they are going to vote out, or they're going to nominate Jeremy. They kind of went a little bit back and forth with that because, putting him up means that he can participate in the veto competition. And they decided, even after, flip-flopping and looking at all the different ways that things could be done, that they would just go ahead and nominate him. Their backup being Caitlin if Jeremy was pulled down because he won the POV. Then we have a little interlude with Nick feeling like a pimp because Gina Marie and Jesse were following him all over the place, and he was just totally not interested in either one of them. It has been just kicked around everywhere because the girls just can't imagine that he wouldn't fall for them. I mean, there's just no reason that he couldn't fall for them other than he's gay. Not even, discounting the fact that, perhaps he doesn't want to be in a showmance, which can really jam up a person's game. I mean, an absolute fact to that matter would be McCrae and Amanda. Them falling into that showmance almost immediately is kind of mucking up their games, unfortunately. It would be, I think, in their best interest for them to break apart and try to fight this game separately. I mean, together as an alliance, but not as a showmance. But that's just me. So the MVP nominations was revealed, and of course, Candace, was saying that she didn't care who it was that was nominated as long as it wasn't a girl. Jeremy said, let's do this and let's battle. So he was ready to take things on. Then we have the pulling of the chips, and she pulled out Amanda and Nick's name. So Helen, Jeremy, Alyssa, Aaron, Amanda, and Nick were playing in the POV. Nick immediately said that he was going to do everything he could to keep Jeremy off the block. And Gina Marie was going to host the competition. Alyssa went in to talk to Nick and said that she wanted to have him throw the POV competition, and she kind of talked around herself, saying, that she wasn't, she didn't know who the MVP was, but, possibly she might put this person up or whatever. And I'm like, you just gave yourself away. The way she was, I don't know, she just talked herself almost into a corner. So anyway, it was pretty much an ultimatum. Throw it or you'll get put up as a replacement. He wouldn't commit. And so, yeah. And then we go into a crying session in the cockpit with Alyssa and Helen, both missing their families. And Howard came in and prayed with them. And then they showed Howard praying with various people in the house, saying that his gameplay and his social play was not going to interfere with his religion. And without giving away, huge spoilers. Yeah. Now it's time for the POV. And Brittany made an appearance, and she is pregnant, and she is just looking too cute for words. So she wanted them to help her get her nursery together. So the POV was called In the Balance, and it basically was in huge, gigantic mobiles that are over a huge crib, and they were given something like 12 different stuffed animals. And they had to balance them on like poles, and then they could only hang them within a certain part of the pole. And so basically they had to perfectly balance, it was 10 stuffed animals without touching the ground, and then they had to run and turn on a nightlight. So I show everybody kind of goofing around with it, and Alyssa is not doing well at all. And so Helen says, I can tell from here that, this is all weighing on me. And yet she was under pressure and freaking out. And so you could see, just by the way she was scrambling and moving too fast, and instead of, slowing down and, slow and steady won the race, she just kept continuing, and it was a bust. And Amanda tried running over twice to hit the night light, and both times she had bears touching the ground. And ultimately, Jeremy ended up winning the POV. Immediately after that, Caitlin started freaking out, running all over the house, worried that she was going to be put up in his place. It was just a funny feeling that she had, just knowing that Alyssa had it out for Jeremy. So the next best bet would be Caitlin. And of course, her name was bandied about to be put up as the replacement. But later on, she went to, or Jeremy went to talk with everyone in his moving company alliance, and pretty much tried to intimidate them into keeping Caitlin safe and making sure that Alyssa was indeed going to be voted out. The problem is that he irritated Nick, Howard, and McCrae. All three of them were very, very, very irritated by the fact that he was pretending like he was the monarchy of this company instead of it being a team. And at one point, Jeremy even said that if it doesn't happen, he's backing out of the moving company. And it seemed like a lame kind of threat, because I'm thinking, okay, so if he backs out of this moving company, they go from, X amount of people strong to just him and Caitlin. And, well, he thinks Aaron as well. So, how is that going to benefit him, having two women, versus all the guys in the house? Pretty much all the guys, not all. Once again, Candace says that she wants to make a girl alliance, that women have never made really strong moves within the in this game. Obviously, you can tell she's never watched the show before, because there have been women that have pulled some pretty bold moves. One of them that comes to mind almost immediately would be Janelle. Alyssa. Okay, so Candace again harps on about wanting to get a guy out. She says that Nick and Jeremy are in an alliance, and that but Alyssa said the problem with that is that she made a pact with Nick, and she didn't want to break her word. And I did watch the feeds and saw this. She was very torn about breaking her word, and talked to quite a few people about it. And as it pans out, as it eventually did pan out, you saw everything that for the reasonings on why she decided that she would use him as a replacement, because she asked him if she put up Caitlyn, would he vote her out? And he said he didn't want to talk game with her. And she said that she didn't feel that he could be trusted. And basically, he said that he would vote her out, Alyssa out, over Caitlyn. So that's when she decides she was going to alley-oop him and put him up as the replacement. Candace was happy that a boy was put up instead of a girl. And Helen actually gave a name, the Mom Squad, to the alliance that she and Alyssa have formed, which is interesting, since today I think they were talking about naming their alliance the Girl-liance. Anyway, Nick says he's the CEO of the moving company, and we're moving you out, Alyssa. So we shall see tomorrow night what's going to happen. I don't know. I've been watching the feeds, and it's going to be a 50-50 shot. What do you guys think? Do you think Alyssa is really going to go home? Do you think that Nick is going to go home? And do you think anyone will actually vote for Helen? Will it be a 50-50 vote, and are they going to have to break the tie via Aaron? All of that remains to be seen tomorrow. See you then.